in my opinion. Teaching opinion writing is one of the funnest modes of writing, and today I have some tips, tricks, and strategies for you to get your writers working hard in the classroom. We know our kids are opinionated. All they do all day long is tell us what they like and tell us what they don't like. Now it's time to put those opinions to good use in your writing classroom. Let's get started. My first suggestion to get your writers working on their opinion writing is to always have an idea of what they're starting with. We know the value of a pre-assessment in all subject areas. So who's to say we can't do a pre-assessment in writing? Give your students a really simple opinion-based prompt and then just give them the freedom to write. By having those sample pieces, we know what our students can already do as writers, and then we can kind of tweak and tailor our lessons to meet their needs. Then talk about how powerful your post-assessment will be. Imagine students being able to compare their first writing to their final writing. Great opportunities for students to see growth. So our first tip today, pre-assess your writers. My next suggestion for making opinion writing that much more fun in your classroom is to provide your students with great examples. We know students are opinionated, but they really need to see opinion writing in context. I think it's great to use opinion writing essays where students are going through and finding the opinion, finding the supporting statements, seeing the opposing opinion as well. Those are all important things, but you know, I love a picture book. I just can't help it. A picture book I use every single year in my opinion writing unit is Can I Be Your Dog? This is such a cute story, and it's great because you can use it for so many different things. It's structured like a letter. It's a framing question text. It's an inanimate voice text because all the letters are written by a dog. He is writing to everyone in the neighborhood to try and convince them to let him become part of their homes. So opinion writing in that context of a picture book, your readers are going to love it. I know I do. We know that choice can be so powerful in our classrooms, and that's why I strongly suggest using choice in your opinion writing unit. I know it's really easy to tell all your students to just write to convince you whether you should get a goldfish or not, but give them the opportunity to select a topic they're really interested in or passionate about. I've done this a few ways in my classroom where students were either given a list of common opinion writing topics, so students should or should not have homework, students should or should not wear uniforms to school. Then let them choose their topic and then get into our writing lessons from there. This year I mixed it up a little bit and I really love how it turned out. This year my students planned a trip in our opinion writing unit. They had to do the research, interact with their informational text, plan their itinerary, and then for our opinion writing, they wrote about why their family members should take them on the trip they've planned. So engaging, so much fun. My kids were so eager every day through this unit to dig back into their content, and they were pretty persuasive. I was really impressed with their writing pieces at the end of our unit because I gave them the power, I gave them the choice to write about something that they were really interested in. And I think that's what makes opinion writing that much more powerful. After your students have picked their topic, it's really important that you let them start drafting right away. It's really hard to teach a lesson on rich adjectives when your students haven't put any adjectives on their paper yet. So my next step after we do these big introductory lessons is to really jump right into the drafting process. Let your students get all those ideas down on paper, and then as you continue through your lessons, they are editing and revising their writing piece. That makes those lessons that much more relatable for students. If you're really not sure where to start with these writing lessons, I have some goodies for you. Within our free writing workshop training, you're gonna get 3 great ideas that are gonna help you transform your writing instruction in your classroom. You get a PD certificate when you're done with the mini course, and you get a 2-week starter kit to help you kick that writer's workshop off with a bang. This resource isn't available anywhere else. You only get this resource by doing this writing workshop little mini course with us. It's a great option if you really don't know where to start in terms of writing workshop. What does that mean? Why would my kids draft before I've taught them anything about opinion writing? Trust me, this is the place for you. As your students are working through those mini lessons with you, they're writing every day, they're building their opinions, giving that facts, that evidence, those reasons. It's also important that your students understand the power of opposing opinions. That's where those mentor texts can really come in. Students need to understand what an opposing opinion is before they can craft their own opposing opinion. I love to do this in my mini lesson by really getting out there and playing devil's advocate. Students will come up and say, well, I really think that they should serve ice cream in the cafeteria. And it then becomes my job and your job to shoot them down. Give them all the reasons someone might disagree with their opinion. That gives them that energy and that thought behind, oh, wow, someone could say this. How can I get ahead of them in my writing? I love presenting that idea of opinion writing as you're talking people out of things. You have to be the best lawyer in the room when you are writing an opinion piece, and students love that. They love thinking that they are now the lawyer and they are changing your mind with their writing. So help them out. Really bring that idea of the opposing opinion into your instruction so they can successfully address those opinions in their masterpieces. After you've made it through all of your great mini lessons, really teaching the root of an opinion writing, the expectations for the structure, by this point your students probably are just so ready to share their writing pieces, but we all know there's one more step, and that step is the editing and revising. Those steps in that writing process are so important that we continue to introduce to our writers all year long, because you're really setting that foundation for how they're going to continue to write throughout their lives. I know I don't send an email without reading it 3 times. That is me editing and revising. Students need to recognize the power of good editing. I like my students to edit a few different ways. I always use an editing checklist. Looks a lot like this one. I use an editing checklist so my students can really be reminded of what we're looking for as we're going through our writing pieces. After they have gone through their piece to edit and revise, I then love to partner them up, give them not red pens, we give them pink pens because red pens are hateful. We give them pink pens with their partner. They can then go through, get a fresh set of eyes on their writing piece, and a lot of times our partners catch things that our students don't catch. Make sure you give your students plenty of time to edit and revise. The last step in teaching opinion writing is the sharing and the celebration. Your students have crafted some really persuasive texts and they want to share them with people. I think writing is a community experience, especially in the elementary classroom, and students are so proud of their work that they generate during that writing time. Why not give them the opportunity to really share? I have had students do kind of like we split the room in half. They read their piece, and then at the end you get to vote yes or no, whether you agree or disagree with their opinion, which is really fun. Get students up out of their seats. I've also done round robins around the classroom where all of the writing pieces are displayed, student names are covered up, and then I typically will hang a sheet of construction paper where we do glows and grows. You could also, since it is opinion writing, you could also do an agree or disagree tally where students can either tally their vote, they can give some feedback to their peers, tell them something they loved in their writing, or maybe they can even point out how their mind has been changed from your students' powerful opinion writing pieces. I know I mentioned our little mini writing workshop, getting it off the ground running course earlier, but I also want to remind you, we do have entire units of writing instruction planned for you, ready to go. Our opinion writing unit is available for grades 2 through 5th, and it is 8 weeks of instruction. Everything you could use. Anchor charts, lesson plans, all of the pieces that you are going to need to make sure your students are really covering all their bases in their opinion writing. I will have it linked down in the comments, and it's always over on our Teachers Pay Teachers store. Well, in my opinion, you are ready to go get your writers working on their opinion writing in their classroom. If you want more writing content from us, I will have our playlist linked. It's our biggest playlist because we love to talk about writing here at Not So Wimpy Teacher. Down in the comments, I want to hear from you. Do you have great experiences with your students in opinion writing? Maybe you have a mentor text you love to use because of the powerful results you see with your writers. Or maybe you have questions you're not sure where to go next. Let me know down in the comments. comments. We love hearing from you guys. And last but not least, hope you have a not so wimpy day. Bye.